Hey everybody, this is CryptoRobert and welcome back to another one of my videos, and today I'm going to give you an update on Crypterra. Now, for the last 10 days or so, we haven't heard any word at all from Crypterra. In fact, let's go to their Twitter page. On February the 11th, about 10 days ago from the recording of this video, their last tweet was, "Dear friends, we apologize for the delay. We are waiting for confirmation of the new SSL certificate for the users cabinet. The users cabinet will be launched today. We appreciate your patience and hope for your understanding." Of course, we were excited to get these tweets from Crypterra, but we also know that Crypterra's understanding of time and space is not like regular people. We know that one day means 3 or 4 days. It's just kind of like a moving target as to when what exactly the Oracle at Crypterra means. When I say Oracle, it's a tongue-in-cheek, of course. We try and figure out what these tweets mean. But in earlier in the month, of course, they told us that, for example, here is one from February the 10th, that important notice, nothing has happened to your balances. You'll be able to cash out your mined coins. Do not worry, please. Sorry for the inconvenience. We appreciate your patience. Now, to be perfectly honest, Crypterra has really been trying all of our patience. We have collectively, as customers of Crypterra, been extremely patient with them as they work through their technical works and other issues. What is the biggest issue facing Crypterra? On February 7th, Crypterra told us that China was eliminating Bitcoin mining in their territory, which is true because as far back as November, there have been articles in all the major newspapers about China cracking down on Bitcoin mining and how much electricity it is using. But in reality, China, as a centralized authoritarian type government with a capitalistic veneer, they really want to control their money and assets and see Bitcoin as a threat to their sovereignty. So this is the reason why they want all these Bitcoin miners out of China. What is the key takeaway from China's actions and making it more inhospitable for Bitcoin miners? Here's a key takeaway. Because of this action or these actions, the management of our company decided to move the data center from China to another country. Currently, we have taken all the formalities and all our equipment has departed from the Yangshan port of Shanghai. Because of this action by the authorities, we are forced to extend the term of our technical works on the site. As you know, this action by the Chinese authority can be attributed to force majeure. Despite this, we will compensate all users for the expectation of loss of profits. We bring our apologies for our experiences and sincerely hope for your understanding. We ask you not to panic. Very soon, 2 to 3 days, we will again be online. Now, when you go back and examine the tweets carefully from Crypterra, they really are trying to make a great effort to not lie to your face specifically, like a bold-faced lie, right? What they're doing is damage control. And when you're in damage control mode, you spin things to your advantage or to make it sound a little less appealing. We see this all the time in politics. A politician makes a mistake or there's a huge blunder, policy blunder, and the talking heads on the TV, if they're working for the government, for example, in any government, doesn't matter if it's the US government, could be any government in the world, they spin things to make it not seem as bad. And essentially, all of these tweets are Crypterra's efforts to spin and control the narrative in order to avoid panicking their customers. It's too late. People are in full drawn-out panic mode. And then on February 10th, they did something that calmed some of the nerves, at least temporarily. On February 10th, they launched their new Crypterra or X mining website 2.0. They say they added Bitcoin Cash and Dash, also a new client panel. Unfortunately, when you go to the website, the client panel really wasn't working. You were getting just a JavaScript message saying that we're recalculating your benefits up until now. So Up until about a couple of hours ago today, Wednesday, February the 21st, everyone was getting the same error message. In fact, even if you yet left the username and password field blank when you try to log in, you'd still get the same message that log in later, we're recalculating balances. Until now, actually. So what happens when I click in the client area? Let me do that now. It is now taking me to a new web portal. So let me log in. Lo and behold, there is their new backend. Yes, this is their client cabinet they've been talking about. Now, bear in mind, this is a complete beta. In fact, there is no SSL certificate attached to this. So they are actually in the process of working on this client admin area. Now, every single thing, all of my contracts are here. I'm looking at my Bitcoin mining contract, my Ethereum contracts, Litecoin, and Zcash. Of course, I have no Bitcoin Cash contract or Dash because these are the two currencies that they've added to the new X mining. My take is that what they're doing here is going to be ported over to the new X mining domain. Now, how can I be so sure that xmining.cc is actually going to be the new name of Crypterra? I'll show you how. Because on their user agreement page, they make frequent reference to xmining.cc or x-mining.cc. All throughout the user agreement, all references to Crypterra.net have been stripped out and have been replaced with x-mining.cc. If we search for x-mining.cc on Whoislookup, we see that that was a registered domain in Toronto, Canada, and it was registered on the February the 11th. So shortly after the new website went up, Crypterra went up, they registered x-mining.cc. It's just a matter of time before x-mining.cc becomes the new domain. It'll be clientarea.x-mining. I can't really be certain when that timeline is going to be, and anything that Crypterra tells us has to be taken with a grain of salt, of course. Now the money waiting for me to be withdrawn, I can't take out, because if you click on the withdraw button here, or payouts, you get the message here, technical works. We have technical works on this page. Come back later. Please, sorry for the inconvenience. However, there are a couple of things that you can do on this beta website client area. For example, I can change the pool settings for the Bitcoin mining and many other pool settings. So let's try that now. You click on the My Workers tab. This is kind of interesting, My Workers. They call your basically your contracts that you purchase are the workers. So if you're clicking on the workers, give it a second. It's a little bit of a lag. Again, this is still a work in progress. I already changed one of them to antpool.btc, so I'm going to actually change all of them just to show you how easy it is to change these pools. Okay, I'm going to try slush pool. Click OK. And that refreshes the browser. I'm going to click the next last pool here from the Bitcoin. Oh, let's try that again. Let me try, okay, I've got antpool, slush pool, and maybe FT pool. Why not? So that's actually working, and that was something that they were promising in one of their tweets. And on the security page, you can actually enable two-factor authentication. Do not, I repeat, do not do any of the security settings. This is a beta site. You don't want to enable something or change something that's going to prevent you from withdrawing your money whenever they start allowing allowing withdrawals again. Of course, I have no idea when they're going to allow withdrawals, if ever. I mean, I'm hopeful about what they're doing here, but you know, I think in this space it's good not to get your hopes up, but you have to wonder, you know, why is Crypterra doing this, right? If their whole aim was to take all of our money and run, they had so much opportunity. It's mind-boggling the amount of incompetence in the management team. The lack of communication is just is just incredibly ridiculous. Absolutely incredibly ridiculous. And there is absolutely no excuse for them to be silent for 10, 15, 20 days at a time when none of us are getting our money. Essentially, all of that money sitting in this account is like, it might as well be monopoly money, right? I mean, it's basically until we all get our money, until we get all our withdrawals, I can't be 100% excited. So I'm excited that they're putting this client area together. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm excited to see the work that they've been doing as of late. And I really do hope that they're going to come back online and start paying everybody. Of course, I have no idea. I have no inside information. In fact, I did try and email Crypterra, but their support at Crypterra.net and info@Crypterra.net are no longer active. So those emails that you send them, they're going to get bounced back, which again leads me to the belief that x-mining.cc is going to be their domain moving forward. When are they going to be fully operational? I have a couple of thoughts on that. If Crypterra is going to become fully operational again, and I say if because, again, they haven't been paying us. It's been, none of us have gotten paid since the end of January. It's almost the end of February. Let's just assume that the equipment is still on a boat from China to Canada. Let's just assume that actually they are in Alberta, Canada. That's where they're setting up. How much time do you think you would need to really set up your equipment again? Let me show you a website that has some information that might give us a little bit of a gauge in time as to how long it might take to basically set up an operation again. This article was from November the 18th from the South China Morning Post. It was about China's Bitcoin miners wary of a tighter government scrutiny make plans to move overseas. So this is essentially Crypterra, among many other companies, facing the same exact issue. China clamping down on Bitcoin mining, leaving these Bitcoin miners having them to have to move out of the country or just go out of business or go into a completely different line of work. Now, scrolling down to the bottom here, one Bitcoin miner, and I quote right here, he says, "If the regulators move to outlaw mining, it will only take us about 3 months to resume operations overseas. Money spent in buying land is relatively small compared to the whole business," he said. So this is like the worst case scenario, right? If they had to shut down, if this Bitcoin miner had to shut down and had to move overseas, he was estimating that it would take him about 3 months. Now, about 2 weeks ago, Crypterra said that their equipment is already on a boat from Shanghai to presumably Canada. It may not take 3 months, but I can't imagine Crypterra taking any less than 2 months if all their mining equipment is indeed still in process, still needing to be assembled. If that data center they were talking about for many months is going to be fully operational, when we're looking at a timeline, probably end of March, maybe April. But like I said, I'm just throwing out dates and ideas. I don't work for Crypterra. I'm just showing you or explaining what is one possible scenario, right? Because I really can't explain adequately why Crypterra would put this back-end system in place with all of my customer information, every single referral, every person who signed up. Why would they put that here? Why would they even bother with this if their whole intention was to just take the money and run? Logic dictates that they're leaning towards reopening their operations and that they're taking a lot longer than they had anticipated because of the time it takes for all the machinery to go from China to Canada, and also the time it takes to actually create a fully robust back-end system and moving domains and all of that and other technical issues that they're trying to work through. But it seems like they're slowly working through their technical problems, and everything that they've been telling us on their Twitter page, actually they're putting into place here. That two-factor authentication, giving people bonuses on Twitter. People are telling me that they logged into their backend and they already have seen the increased hash power in bonuses. Now, of course, that'll make everyone happy once they get that money, or those bonuses in the form of extra income once the mining operations start up and running again. And one more thing, if you click on the support link here, it takes you to all of your referrals, so people that have signed up under you. Now, I have over 536 referrals due to my Crypterra videos and all that, and not every one of them is actually a customer. There's about 180 of those 536 have actually signed up back in December and January. Now, they have settled on a commission. So those who are promoters of Crypterra, 20% is the maximum. That's the current level I have, is the guru level. It's kind of funny, I'm a guru, right? You click on the little link here, it is 20%. So they start out everyone with a basic 5% referral. You move up to the advanced to 10%, and then it's 15%, and then 20%. So I'm pretty sure that's kind of what they're going to stick to. It's probably what they were already paying. Many of us thought it was 30% or 25%. Again, this is Crypterra. Anything can change at any time, at any moment. But I think that once they are back up and running, this particular cabinet or backend or client cabinet is probably what we are going to is what they're going to settle on and use. I find it kind of interesting that all the people that sign up under you, you know their name and country, so, and how much money they've paid into the system. So, and there's a little link here to send people messages. So I guess you can use that as to build a sales team of sorts, I guess. So take that for what it's worth. One more thing before I go. If you notice on the bottom, right under support, it says X Mining ICO. This is very interesting. A lot of companies these days are creating tokens to invest in. So it looks like a Crypterra or X Mining, they are going to create their own token. I guess you'd probably, the way I think it's going to work, and how it's working with other companies, other cloud mining companies like Hydrominer and the up-and-coming Ice Rock Miner. I still have to look into that one. Is that you're buying a token, you're buying these coins, and you'll be able to invest in the company. They can buy more equipment and more machinery, and they reward you by giving you a discount when you cash in those tokens to buy more hash power, probably at a reduced rate. I'm pretty sure that's how it's going to work. Most likely that ICO is going to happen not soon. Soon, again, Crypterra. Soon is probably sometime the end of next year. Like I said, I have no idea exactly, because again, Crypterra has a whole different way of counting time. Well, that about wraps it up for this video on Crypterra/X Mining. While it is very encouraging to see them working on that client cabinet area, it's still very annoying that Crypterra hasn't made any announcements about it. So probably, and don't quote me on this one, Crypterra will be making some type of a tweet over the next couple of days, I would expect, because now that the cat's out of the bag, everyone has been seeing all of the back end, and they're very curious. They're going to be constantly, you know, hitting the Crypterra Twitter page for updates. You know, I'm hitting them, and everyone collectively keep hitting their Twitter page, ask them questions. Hey, you know, what's going on with this new client admin area? When are we going to get our payouts? It's up to all of us to collectively put some pressure on them to pay us. So let's do it and see if we can get them to respond. So that's all I've got to say right now. Cautiously optimistic is how I would feel. Not necessarily exuberant, because we've all been down this path before where Crypterra promises something and they underdeliver, and they don't account for the amount of time that they need to actually get everything back up and running again. So take it for what it's worth. log into your client area, but don't change anything. Don't change any of your settings. Just leave it alone. Just kind of view it and see it and see how it all works. And hopefully we'll hear from Crypterra /X Mining in the next couple of days. Or not. Well, you get the idea. All right, take care. If you like this video, please click the like button. If you want to become my subscriber, I would love for you to become my subscriber so you never miss any of my content. All right, that's all, folks. Take care. See you on my next video.